Hello and welcome to Sheepdog Says. I'm Sheepdog and today is Monday, which means in my house that when I get in from work, my wife points to where the dinner is and then she leaves to do her marathon training. Later in the year, she's planning on running a half marathon, I believe it is, with some ladies from our nursery where the kids go. And on those evenings, it means that I get the lovely chance to spend the evening with my kids, but mainly my son, Ben, who is he's 7 months old as of the other day. He hasn't got a nickname yet. I'm thinking he'll grow into it. My middle child, we call him Bosco. Well, I call him Bosco. My wife does not call him Bosco. That stems from the fact that when we were trying to think of names, I basically wanted to name him after Mr. T, B.A. Baracus, and she didn't. So we went with her choice, but it doesn't stop me calling him it anyway, and he now responds to it. So I've got Lampup, Bosco, and soon to be named. He hasn't got one yet because I don't know. He's just at the moment doesn't do much, but I tell you what he does do actually. He winds me up. He's a little troll, and that is because when I come home or he sees me, he's very very smiley. He's like, I can't believe you're home. This is the best news ever. This is amazing. The second he is handed to me, he descends into tears. He does not want to be held by me. He does not want to sit with me. He is in pieces and he screams and he cries, and the second I hand him back to my wife or my daughter, he stops crying instantly. Monday nights have been fun because, as you can imagine, my wife hands him to me, she leaves. He normally cries for the next hour and a half before getting so tired from crying that he falls asleep, and then I put him in there basically. But we've got into this routine. It's like a battle of wits. I mean, tonight was actually quite good by his standards, to be fair. But the first week, he just cried and cried and cried. And then when she got back, I handed him over. Job done. It was fine. I don't mind the crying. It's more about it's going to hurt him more than it hurts me. And, it does. But the second week, it was ridiculous. I took him upstairs. I laid him in his cot. He was fast asleep. I walked out the door, shut it, starts crying instantly. So I open the door, go in, stand next to him, stops crying. Walk back out, shut the door, starts crying again. We did this about 3 or 4 times before I basically stood next to him, leaned far over and shut the door. The second the door clicked, he went, meh, and I just responded deadpan, I'm still standing here, I haven't left. And he just kind of went, he just lay there silently. And I just stood there silently, and I just thought, you've got me. Because the second I leave, you're going to start crying again. But as long as I'm here, you can't even tell that I'm here. But the fact that you think I'm here means you're silent. So I left it for probably another 5-10 minutes, just standing there in the dark. And then I opened the door, and I shut the door, and straight away he started crying again. And I was just like, oh no. And unfortunately, before I had a chance to have a bit of a meltdown, my wife returned, went straight in, said goodnight to him, and he went to sleep. He reminds me of the baby from Dinosaurs, basically. I'm not the mama, so he's going to troll the hell out of me. And that just seems to be getting worse and worse. I mean, if you try and feed him at the moment, he gets really wound up if you don't feed him quick enough. If you're having a conversation, if you dare to try and feed yourself, he will go nuts. I can sometimes get away with feeding him. He allows me to do it. But most of the time it has to be my wife, and she's not allowed to eat herself until he is fed and bored or whatever. And at that point, he's ready to get out of the chair. So we have to kind of go and eat quickly. I mean, he's obviously a lovely baby, and all babies are the same. They always do this. All kids prefer the mum, and especially my kids. And they're just cheeky. He did. Sorry, I just looked at my notes there. He did say Dada for the first time today, or at least I heard it. Apparently he's been saying it for weeks, but I don't think he has. That can't be right. He's been making noises, but today he said Dada, which made me very proud. I thought that was very cool. I think he knows that's me. I don't think that's just a noise he's making for the sake of it. He's probably just trolling me. He's probably been saying it for weeks, but he just saw a gorilla or something, just as I happened to be in the room, and now he's saying Dada like that. But I just assumed, I took the win where I could. It seems to go from one extreme to the other, though, because for the first maybe 1.5, 2 years, they just want nothing to do with me. And then, like some of you commented in the video with Lampup the other day that she was just on me, and like the whole video was clinging on for dear life. That wasn't just fear of the video. When I'm sat in the living room now, both her and Bosco are just on me all the time. I'll sit there and they'll both be attached to my arms or just both piling on top of each other on my right. So I basically, I'm used to it now that I've got these two just people hanging off me every second of like Sundays and Saturdays when I'm sat there just trying to watch something, whatever. And it's nice. I like it, obviously. It's really good that they want to spend time with me. You know, I'm assuming that eventually I'll have the third kid on this side and it'll just be the four of us trying to squeeze into one person's seat. But yeah, I don't know how we crack that point at the moment. If I went in the morning to wake my son up and say hello to him, he would just be mortified. He'd be like, "Why are you here? Don't wake me up. Like, don't say hello to me. Leave me alone." I think with Lamp Up, it was just essentially forcing it. I just basically made sure that she didn't get a choice. I mean, what's happening at the moment with the baby is I'm making sure that, you know, if he cries, I'm just robotic. I just phase it out and get on with it. But with Lamp Up, I used to just walk around with her under my arm like a ball. I've got pictures of her when she was maybe not even a year old, and I'd be just walking around at events, parties, whatever. She'd just be underarm like a ball, and I'd just be walking around. She just got used to sitting in that little... I think that is probably why they sit on me so much now. I've just put my arms in a position where I can hold them like this, and I wander around like I'm carrying, you know, a big old American football or something under my arm, and they just get used to it. My son used to just sit on my shoulders. I got all these pictures again of him just sat there. My shoulders ache so much because when we used to go shopping, I'd just be like, right, you go on there, you know, Lamp Up underarm, and I just walk around. I'm surprised I'm not built like a massive bodybuilder. Well, I am, obviously you can tell, but I'm surprised I'm not Mr. Universe. I was carrying him so much, but I mean, I'm looking forward to that with the baby at the moment. I'm looking forward to that moment when I can just stick him up there. He's done. He can just start playing with my glasses and pulling my hair and stuff. But at the moment, that's what Bosco wants to do, and he's so heavy. He asked me the other day, and I looked at him and just thought, I don't think I can handle my neck getting that long because my shoulders will just sink and sink and sink. But equally, if I don't do that, then I worry that he'll just be like, fine, I'll just go do my own thing, and then I'll be back to being Mr., you know, third-rate citizen in my own house. I think most of this is normal. I'm sure all of the other dads watching this will appreciate the fact that you're basically there to be sat on, there to be woke, and I've not had a proper lie-in. It's so bloody long. People keep saying, "Oh, you know, you got." Well, my wife says you got out of bed at like 10:30 today, and I'm thinking I didn't sleep. I was a trampoline for at least 45 minutes of that. You know, I was a leaning post for at least an hour of that. I got kicked in the groin at least 7 times, and sometimes I'm sad to say I probably got covered in wee or something gross, just because being a parent is horrific. I mean, I'm just thinking now, all these little stories are coming back to me like Lamp Up. I want to put this on the internet because I'm hoping that she'll tell her friends to watch the channel because she appeared on one, and then they'll hear about the day she pooed everywhere when she was a baba and we weren't used to changing nappies, and we laid her down and she just projectile pooped all over our nice bed. It was ridiculous. I think that was probably 2 days after she was born, so she can't really be held responsible. But there it is, Lamp Up. Story on the internet of you pooing everywhere. Haha. I think she really appreciated the comments, by the way, of everyone saying she was really sweet, really kind. She was very well behaved in that video. We did have a bit of a funny one yesterday. So she's not always good. No kid is, but yesterday was mad. We went out. We were going to go for a walk. It was partially to hatch Pokemon eggs, but we went out. We drove to the place we were going to walk, called Fairy Meadows. I think I mentioned it before. We went into the car park. I handed her a bottle of water. I don't think she actually held it. I let go of it. Then she was freaking out about, I asked for water, where did this bottle come from? It's all like, she lost her marbles anyway, and we ended up having this blazing row in the car and then just driving straight back out. I'm hoping that they don't have some sort of number plate monitoring in there, because we were in there for all of 30 seconds. But it's one of those insane moments where we just drove back home then. Everyone's clacking at each other. Bosco just starts chiming in, shouting mummy over and over again. None of us know what's going on with him, why he's upset, why he's angry. About half an hour later, he was telling us because he'd hurt his fingers. He'd been sat on the bottom of the buggy, running his fingers along the wheels, and apparently when she sped up, his hand went underneath. I don't know. But he didn't tell anyone this. He just decided midway through an argument to just start shouting, mummy, mummy. And we were all going like, what's going on? Why is everybody screaming? The baby is just there babbling away, shouting, blah, 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 blah. I got dropped off in town. I basically said to my wife, I'm going to jump out here and walk home because I was just... which sounds like I was abandoning her. I wasn't. It had calmed down at this point, but I just said to her, you take them in, just send them off. I'm going to walk because kids are hard work. I think once the baby's a bit older, it'll crack. My wife will probably want another one. We have one every 4 years at the moment, and it's ridiculous. When we were in the hospital the day the baby was born, we went in there, and the midwife said to us, "Oh, how many have you got?" And we said 2. She said, "How old are they?" And we said 5 and 9. And then I, in delirium, just went, "We have one every 4 years, like the Olympics." And she went round telling every other midwife that I'd said it. And I didn't know whether she was laughing at me or with me, because she said she was like, "Oh, it was amazing," And I think it wasn't that funny, but you've literally told everyone. I'm hoping that is it now, though. I don't want it to be that in 3 years and 5 months we end up having another one, because we haven't got the room, for one thing. I don't want to have to pay for a loft conversion to house more children. But then equally, I'm thinking if I just keep having them every 4 years, then they'd be spaced out enough. I don't know, it'd just be awesome to have 11 of them over 44 years. I'd be, 60 something years old. That's too old, actually. I don't want to be doing that. That sounds horrendous. But I am worried that the second that this one is old enough to go to school, there'll be that, "Oh, I haven't got a baby in the house." I'm starting to think I might need someone to just kick me really hard in the groin, just to make sure that doesn't happen anymore. Yeah, I think I'm going to round it off there. Don't kick me in the groin, please. But yeah, kids are weird. I'm happy that he said Dada today for the first time. I'm hoping I can crack this whole hating me thing. He was good tonight, actually. He was really happy all the way through, babbling away. And then just as my wife came home, he saw her and just had a meltdown because he realised that I wasn't her and that she was her and I shouldn't have been holding him. But he's off in bed now. He's fast asleep. He didn't wake up for her 100 times. He just went straight down. But I'm learning. I don't know why I'm learning. This is the 3rd time I've done it, but I'm learning. They're all different. It's mad. But yeah, I'd say, I was going to say don't have kids, but have kids. They're awesome. I love mine. If they're watching, I do love you, honest. But yeah, they're hard. They are hard work. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Hit subscribe, like, leave some comments. Let me know your stories from your kids. I know it's a bit of a random one. I had to stop starting because I was fumbling my words and I was losing my train of thought and all sorts. I'll tell you, one thing I've noticed, just as a bit of an aside, the more into this I get, the harder I'm finding to just consistently deliver a train of thought for like 10 minutes straight. I'll suddenly forget what I'm saying or whatever. I never had that problem in the first like 10 videos. But yeah, I'm still learning. Thanks for putting up with me. If you'd like to, leave some comments, let me know what you're thinking, or just any stories or whatever, that'd be great. Thanks very much, and I'll see you tomorrow.